All right, so let's talk about some news that a lot of people are reacting to, and in some sense, naturally and in a scared way, but also from a perspective of what's happening behind the scenes and all of that stuff, game theory, as well as just strategy behind all of the other nations, as well as the deep state. And so I want to talk a little bit about this news. As you can tell from the title of the video, President Trump ordered the Department of War 1 hour before his meeting with President Xi. And of course, at the time of this video, it's outdated by a day, that the testing of the nuclear weapons in the United States arsenal be done on an equal basis. So let's take a look at the actual tweet and some implications, as well as just some reactions and other things. So he says here, the United States has more nuclear weapons than any other country. This was accomplished, including a complete update and renovation of existing weapons during my first term in office. Because of the tremendous destructive power, I hated to do it, but had no choice. Russia is second and China is a distant third, but will be even within 5 years. Because other countries' testing programs, I have instructed the Department of War to start testing our nuclear weapons on an equal basis. That process will begin immediately. Thank you for your attention to this matter. President Donald J. Trump. Now, you got to understand that on one hand, it sounds crazy and it sounds, oh my gosh, why are you developing and just maintaining your stock arsenal of weapons? But from a perspective of any other R&D, any other maintenance of military equipment, you've got to be updated. You've got to understand that this is not like nuking an ocean and a desert and all that stuff. It's making sure that you are, as he says, on an equal basis, have your arsenal maintained with maintenance, with cleaning, and whatever it is that he has to do, they have to do to update the chips, as well as the uranium and all that stuff, and making sure it's in tip-top shape. He's not indicating that he would use it, that he wants to use it, and other nations are not in a position to say, you know what, let's start nuking the whole world and all that stuff. And so I believe, from the peace of God that allows me to understand the end times and when Christ will come again and all that stuff, that we're not going to see some nuclear fallout, like everybody's nuking everybody and all that stuff. And so you got to understand, from the perspective of God, you don't have to worry, you don't have to be concerned. And I have the full assurance that we're not going to go into some crazy World War III nuclear war. And from the perspective of Q, as well as the Anons and the research, the white hats, God is in control, and he's going to do certain things to make sure that the deep state and all of this stuff is dealt with. And so that's point one. Now, the second point is some of the deeper type of conspiracy stuff. This is the first post that comes to my mind, 521, where it says, we are fighting for life. We are fighting for good. We are at war. Not everything will be clean. And it says here, scare necessary event. So a necessary scare event. Do you trust the U.S. military? Do you trust the chain of command? Have faith. We are in control. Patriots. Patriots, they have faith. You were chosen for a reason. And so, you are being provided the highest level of intel to ever be dropped publicly in the history of the world. Use it, protect and comfort those around you. Where we go one, we go all. And so I'm looking at necessary scare event. And I'm looking at, and coincidentally here, post 190 also says U.S. versus, blank, and necessary to cut strings from foreign bad actors, and necessary to form worldwide alliances to defeat. Think Merkel is a coincidence, talking about Germany. Here are puppets. They are weak. They are scared. 80% dark ops, necessary 20% public for justice. The stage must be set. Have faith. And then this other post, 1792, says coincidence, or rather, let me start from the beginning. What happens when you are a threat to the mainstream media? Old guard. Coincidence, threats, scare tactics deployed. Fear not. And so I believe we're in a season for which, yes, this was done in a weird sort of way right before the meeting with President Xi, but I feel like this is a message to the deep state. It's a message to the old guard, the Illuminati, as well, showing peace through strength, as Trump has always said. And so this part of it is not anything beyond, what we should see at face value, but it's doing dual things, not only sending a message to the deep state, but also just making sure that regular house maintenance is done. So let's watch a couple of clips here where Trump is asked about this, and look how nonchalant, how much of a, I don't want to say downplay it is, but look how calm he is when he's talking about this.
Why did you write your Truth Social about nuclear testing? What about resuming nuclear testing? What prompted you to do that right before the meeting?
It had to do with others. They seem to all be nuclear testing.
Russia?
We have more nuclear weapons than anybody. We don't do testing. We've halted it many years ago. But with others doing testing, I think it's appropriate that we do also.
Any details around the testing, sir? Like where, when?
It'll be announced. We have test sites. It'll be announced.
Now, that was him talking calmly about it, but watch how this NBC reporter is shouting hostile questions about this and how it's disrupting sort of the flow of this meeting.
Mr. President, why did you change your nuclear plans? Why are you going to be doing more nuclear testing?
Thank you very much, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Now, I believe all of that is being done in some sense to communicate to the world what's going on. I'm not saying that this person is in on it, but of course it was a rude way to disrupt sort of that, meeting. But at the same time, it's interesting how people are reacting to this all over the world. So I think that we're in sort of this tail end of, if you want to call it Red October, as well as just everything heating up. And we'll talk a little bit more about the National Guard and just what's being deployed there. There's a lot of things happening right now. And I believe that we're at sort of this precipice and we're going to see some major moves and some good cleaning house of this whole deep state, if you want to call it. And so don't be concerned. Don't be worried. I want to know what you guys think below, if it's just what it is at face value or if there's more meaning behind it. But just want to give you guys my 2 cents here on some of this stuff. No big deal. At the same time, there's more than meets the eye. Guys, you guys know I'm doing a fundraiser. We only are a few $1,000s short. Would love your guys' support so we can get over the line. You guys know I'm doing a legal battle here for freedom of speech, for religious persecution, as well as just many other things, missions, supporting my team, and operational costs. So would love your guys' support to kind of get to the end goal. We are almost there, but it's slowing down a little bit. All the information is in the link down below, givesendgo.com/chrisyoonyt. Love you guys. Talk to you guys very soon.